Thank you all for being here today in the incredible public room. A space where many AP World and Euro students come after school every Tuesday and Thursdays for help. As a former AP World student myself, I was almost here every week, and I remember talking to Mr. Gigiano some days until maybe like 7 p.m. or so, and that's really how dedicated he is as a teacher and for being there for his students. Seeing you all here today says a lot about your character and your belief not just in the AI initiatives here at our school and at our district, but also your belief in AI and education as a whole, AIED. And so with that, I would like to just take a few minutes, and I promise not to waste your time here, but I do want to recognize those who have contributed tremendously to this project. And by tremendously, I mean in any way possible, from the tech department who rolled this huge TV over here to the man himself, Mr. Gigiano, who never lost faith in me despite the many pitfalls and hiccups we faced throughout this project. And with that, I would like everyone to join me in recognizing Mr. Gigiano, first of all. He was not only fully supportive on the day that I presented him with this rather crazy, out of the ordinary idea, but he was there for me and many other students back on day one when I was an AP World student. From the very beginning, he emphasized these really important executive functioning skills, even when they were not technically required to be taught by teachers, and that included rigorous memory training, being organized with folders in our papers, and of course, introducing me to incredible books with practices that I still follow today, whether that's How to Study in College by Walter Pock or Atomic Habits by James Clear, which I famously wrote a 100-page extra credit paper on. I know I keep praising him, but please know that this is in fact not undeserved. In fact, what I'm saying is only just a small fraction of the many incredible things he has done for us students, and how he's willing to support any idea a student has that aims to support our learning and our learning environment. I would also like to thank you guys, AP World and Euro students, whether it's the students from my batch or the students here today. I know you guys are anxious about your final exams, and I promise that what I'm about to show you here later today, you may walk away just feeling a little bit more confident in yourself and your understanding. And you guys have not helped me only refine the AI through its various and complex stages, but you've also kept the excitement and hype alive for this long-awaited project. And don't worry, guys, the wait is officially over today. I also want to thank Mr. Aronson. While not directly involved with this project and more involved with my other project, Build a Teacher, or BAT, which I will talk about a bit later, he was still a huge help. Without the knowledge that I gained from him, from the classes that I took with him, I would have never reached this level. I also want to thank some of the higher ups who helped me, like Mr. Dunn, who's the head of the social studies department. He was the one who first met with Mr. Gigiano and I when we first teamed up with this project, and he made the calls and emails to Microsoft, even though he never had to do any of this in the first place. Even though our little affair with Microsoft didn't really work out because of something known as tax exemption, his effort still made a difference. The ed techs, Mrs. Grigg, Mr. Giuliano, Mr. Homer, thank you for also helping deal with these big tech logistics as well, alongside Mr. Dunn. Mr. Street, the head of the tech department, immediately recognized the passion that I have for this idea when we first met. I remember running into him one time when he was literally wearing a construction hat, and he still made time to stop, talk with me, and discuss how we could move this project forward. I would also like to thank Mr. Summy, the head of the math department, and my former linear algebra teacher, as many may not know, is actually probably one of the most knowledgeable people when it comes to AI and education. And finally, Mr. Salas, our CTO, who took time out of his incredibly, and I mean incredibly, busy schedule to meet with me. He even has an assistant who schedules meetings for him. And we had to reschedule our meeting I think almost 8 times because of the complexities in his schedule. And still not him, but all of these people took time out of their day to listen to me and take my ideas seriously, even though I'm just a high school student. It is really rare to find people like this in a school. And finally, I want to thank the people who made today's event possible. Mr. Garrity, our manager of communications, came up with the idea for this event, not only to launch Gigiano AI, but to also help promote the AI Club. And he, by the way, if you guys have seen my press release and social media acknowledgments, he is the one who did an incredible job on that. And if you guys see anything interesting happening in LFHS, please let him know. He's really great at identifying and highlighting unique projects and voices throughout our district and our schools, so like myself. So please do let him know if you have any interesting ideas that you want to share with our community. I also want to thank Mr. Douglas, the head of new media, for helping capture this event from a student perspective. I've heard so many great things about the new media program, and I'm incredibly grateful to have their presence here with us today. And thank you again to the tech department for rolling this massive TV in last minute. And of course, thank you to Caden and Mr. Rumpft for helping me run the incredible LFHS AI Club. And since this event is sponsored by the AI Club, I just want to tell you guys a little bit about the AI Club. So you've probably seen these banners on our TVs, and you've probably seen us on Schoology announcements as well. Thank you, Mr. Rump, for facilitating that. And so our goal really is not to just share, our goal is to share ideas about AI, not just within our school, but in the world around us. So while we will be learning each other along the way, you don't have to know a lot of stuff regarding AI, because I think at the end of the day, you will be learning a lot about AI and how to better apply it in your life. And we run interactive meetings using tools like Pear Deck, and we also help members create their own, we plan to help members create their own AI-powered apps, similar to what I've done as well. And so we are actively looking for more people to join the club, and please know that it is not too late, even though the club has already started. And I want to be kind of honest right now. The club is struggling with low attendance, which is why we are promoting it here today. If this sounds even a little interesting to you, please come check it out, and feel free to share it with anyone who you think might be interested in this as well. Mr. Rumpf, Caden, myself, and others too believe that we need a dedicated space for AI discussion among students, and we need students in order to make this possible. And so with that, I want to kind of get started. Sorry for, again, spending a little bit of time acknowledging people, but I felt that these were acknowledgements that I had to include. So let's talk about Gigiano AI. That's what we all came here for. It all started with a CS teacher, a history teacher, a student who loves CS and history. And this is what I call the dream team of Gigiano AI. Without the knowledge that I've learned from this legendary teacher and another legendary teacher, I would have not been able to create this incredible project and the other projects that I'm currently working on. So just a bit of context, by the way. This image, you've probably seen it before, was taken by our wonderful Mr. Garrity. Thank you again, Mr. Garrity, for, again, organizing everything. It was actually extremely bright outside when we took this photo, so that's why we're kind of all squinting. Just a little bit of context. And so now Gigiano AI kind of started off as more of like a subtle project, but it became much better known after I was invited to the Khan Lab School, or Khan AI and Education Summit. And that gave me a lot of recognition throughout our school and our community, and even more than that, nationwide and internationally as well. So I'm really grateful for this experience. Thank you to Khan Lab School and Khan Academy for really recognizing the potential of my projects and what I bring to our community. And so let's get kind of into the meat of Gigiano AI. I'm a vegetarian, but you guys get what I mean. I'm going to show you essentially version 1, which is the version that technically you guys should have gotten if it wasn't for other complexities and security issues. But I do want to show how, what we were working on last year. And so I'm just going to share my screen here and share this version 1 here. with you guys. And this is the AI that I would sacrifice, Mr. Gigiano and myself, we would sacrifice a lot of our lunchtime because our lunch was right after class, and we just keep on working on the AI. So while we may have been hungry the rest of the day, we really are grateful for what we were able to accomplish. So I'm going to kind of open this up here. And maybe we could have like a volunteer or two come up here, if anyone would like to. Anyone? Any volunteers?
Come on.
Come on, come on.
Come on up.
Okay, exit out of full screen here. Any volunteers? I would like a volunteer.
Yeah, that's why you have to pick on people.
Okay.
Not pick on. Matthew. Come on up here, buddy. Say.
Okay,
There you go.
gotta try to drag this thing up here. I don't know why. Why can't I drag? I'm really good with computers, by the way. I don't know what's happening. I'm dragging this application. There we go. Okay, so this is version 1, which I think Gigiano himself is probably a little more familiar with, because I don't know if you really tried the new version that students
I have not, no.
And so I know you guys have, as AP World students, you guys are kind of getting ready for your final exams. I'm sure you guys have a lot of burning questions, and I know that this is not the model that you guys will get access to, but let's say you did, because I think this is really important, right? The history of our AI, I think it's important that you kind of see where we started, right? We have AP writing lectures. I'm sure you guys are really, really interested in that. And all of the AP World lectures, AP Euro lectures as well. So Matthew, I know you pretty decently. What would you like? What do you have? AP Euro? Okay, what? Again, so this includes semester 2 stuff as well. I know we're still in semester 1, but what do you want to? Martin Luther, okay. Let's see, again, this is our first ever version that you guys should have gotten, but I still think our new version is actually maybe even better than this.
Oh, this is me giving the actual parts of the presentation. You kept in some of the hot dogs and stuff like that.
You guys will see that a lot in our tool.
He wanted to keep in some personality, I guess, with the descriptions of the information. He didn't want it as formal.
So Matthew, what do you think of this response? And be honest. Again, this is not the version that you guys will be getting, but it's still very important because this was something that you guys were potentially going to get. What do you think? Does it sound like Gigiano? Does it not sound like Gigiano? You can obviously tell it's AI because of a lot of the M dashes here. AI tends to use a lot of M dashes. I've said no M dash, no M dash. It still does M dashes. But what do you think?
Yeah, it sounds like it's Gigiano.
Give me some specific phrases or something. I mean, hot dog. He already gave you the answer to that one, but
Grab your coffee, elephants.
okay. All right. So anyone have any other comments to share? I know is there more AP World or Euro students here? I'm not 100% sure. But for any AP Euro people, what do you guys think of this?
Well, is there any way to show the version that they could actually use?
Absolutely.
I mean, I think that's what they're waiting for, and I know some students have to go and stuff like that, and so
yeah.
But I mean, this version here is something
it's very similar to that.
Yeah,
version. I just wanted to kind of show the
right. I think that the idea behind this version was that he wanted a version where all the lecture I had done, over 200 hours of lectures during COVID, that you would, if you asked the AI the question, it wouldn't be going off the web or something like that. It's completely contained with the information that I gave. That's what he wanted to do. And so that you're getting the information that I'm giving, because remember I told you that when you're taking a class, it gives a lot of information inside the class. You want to study what the teacher, the professor are saying, because those are the ones who write your test. And so if you're asking a question and I'm answering it, right, really, which I am because it's based off my lectures, you're going to get closer to the type of answer that's going to be most applicable to you. That's why he created it. And so I'd love to see the version that they can actually use and how to access it would be fantastic.
Yeah, we're going to get into that actually right now. I just kind of wanted to show, again, this is what we were really working hard on, and now this new version, which I think that you guys are going to love as well. I will bring up right now. I will just present here. present full screen.
Now, is this based off an app or is it?
This presenting tool?
No, where can they access this?
Yeah, I'm gonna
Okay.
talk about it. So yeah, I just wanted to again mention this is my other project that I'm working on. A lot of the code from Gigiano AI is in this project. This is another project that I presented here at the AIED Summit that works for pretty much any teacher. Of course, I don't think it'll be as great as Gigiano AI. Something to kind of check out in your own time. Join the AI Club. I will demo it here too. Very fascinating project. And so now this is a link that shouldn't have been given out. Maybe I have to rethink who I kind of trust. But this was kind of a link that kind of was given to some AP World students somehow. This was not a ready version, but students still got a taste of this and the new version and how you can access it on pretty much any device, which is really good because you don't have to just stick to these MacBooks, which is really great. And so because this is, again, not a version that people should have been using, but again, as a lesson I learned a long time ago, what's out there on the internet is out there forever. I do want to show you guys the new version, the full version that you guys will all get access to.
So this is the old one you don't want them to use?
No.
Okay, so this is the one?
This is Gigiano.com. This is the brand new version of Gigiano AI that anyone can use. We have been graciously powered by, we were initially going to be powered by NVIDIA. Actually, NVIDIA reached out to us to see if we could use their compute. But of course, some things unfortunately didn't align, but that's okay. That's part of the process. But now we're powered by a company called Lambda, which has tons of compute in NVIDIA GPUs. And for those AI environmentalists out there, this is something really fascinating. This entire AI is powered by only one GPU. A GH200 on the Grace Hopper architecture. So it's not even the latest and greatest of NVIDIA GPUs, but it's literally, all of this is powered by one GPU, and it's actually even better than that model. This is something that they told me that we just demoed.
Okay.
So let's actually, I want another volunteer who can actually bring up their computer, because I think it's important to see that it can run on a student's computer.
Okay.
Any other volunteers? Come on guys.
Everybody have their computer here?
Anyone have their computer, connected to the internet, ready to go? All right.
All right, good.
Okay, so I will disconnect from this from this screen, so you can connect your computer as well.
Is it this one?
Yeah, Gigiano.com. No. Type Gigiano.com here.
You guys can see if it works on your computers too. If you guys go on it.
You guys can try.
You're trying to figure out a term list, or you're looking at information, or maybe you had
TechCart 4.
You can find it a little bit easier.
And so I'm guessing when you came here, you probably had burning questions about to ask Mr. Gigiano, right? You in the public room. All right, so yeah, enter the code. And by the way, anyone here, even non-AP students, should be able to access this to try it for themselves. Yes, Gigiano AI. And so I'm sure you have questions. Are you AP World or Euro?
AP World.
Okay, so maybe try. Of course, you can kind of identify which is your semester 1 content, right? All of that stuff. Semester 1, Confucianism. So maybe ask a question that you want to ask Mr. Gigiano here today. And let's see how this new version responds. Again, students have tried it, told me great things. But let's see, live demos are the way to kind of expose, maybe potential flaws in the product, which is great. I want to see feedback.
Oh, there you go.
Correct.
What is the goal of Confucianism?
Attain unity and peace in society.
Good, there you go.
Okay, let's see. Let's do another semester 1.
Mongols. Just like that.
Oh yeah, the Mongols. Let's see if we can find that.
I don't think you got that right.
All right, you have to click Start Learning. And so now the lecture is loaded. It's okay. I won't judge you for your spell.
Wow. Cool.
So what do you think? What are kind of your thoughts? And someone else can jump in here
Just
too.
ask a question and it answers it right away, straightforward.
Okay, that's really good. But what about the response, the output? What do you kind of think of that?
I like how it's directed toward you in like normal English. It's not like a computer talking to you. It's like a
Okay.
person.
Now I want you to perform something, and this has a really weird term. It's called prompt injection. What essentially you're doing is you're going to try to test the AI, ask it something completely irrelevant, or ask like write me something. I want you to do that and see what it.
Let me write me an LEQ.
Write me an LEQ. So it's something like that.
Write me an LEQ on the difference between Aquinas and St. Augustine, something like that. Is that what you're asking?
Yeah, I mean, just something that of course, we know is something that students should not get an answer to, right? Because we want genuine student thinking. And that's something really important about this tool is that it's supposed to, again, it's not supposed to take over the thinking of the student. That's why we've parameterized it appropriately.
And so, yeah, it doesn't actually write the essay.
Just gives you
It gives you advice, like does the heavy lifting for you. I think you've used that term before, Mr. Gigiano, heavy lifting.
Nice. Cool.
What if you ask something completely irrelevant to the lecture? Why don't you try that? Ask something completely irrelevant. This is something that
Like a math question?
math question, something too. Personally, from my experience, what I've tried, it usually 90% of the time doesn't answer, but then sometimes for like fun, it'll say, oh yeah, for fun, the derivative of x squared is 2x. For like fun, it'll say that, but usually it doesn't.
Yeah.
So yeah, it said, I'm sorry, I didn't cover that kind of calculation in this lecture. I mean, I'm sure in real life, Gigiano would be able to, but of course, just use a calculator for that, you know. Yeah, so has everyone been able to kind of access it? Okay, so anyone have any questions at all? No questions? All right.
I like the new version. It has really look professional. So.
Thank you. So anyone, not just AP, anyone can access this, gigiano.com, and you will be able to chat with Mr. Gigiano anytime, anywhere, and as much as you want. So that's Ask Gigiano. Thank you so much for joining us.
All right, nice job. Nice work. Nice work. Very nice work. Hopefully it's very helpful to them.
I hope so too.
They use it appropriately, so. All right.
Great, good job. All right, would you mind just taking a look through it and just giving some more feedback? Because it's the first time you've seen this, right?
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, I mean, you
Talk
should.
through and just
the new version,
take a few more looks through and check it out.
let me see here.
Sure, this is, again, like same format as before, so like click I agree.
Let's see here. So in this one, you don't have to choose the actual lecture, correct?
No, you do. Just like before, because again, we want
Oh,
the
here it
AI
is.
to kind of
I
stay
got
on
you.
track with their responses, and so we can have the most accurate responses.
Let's see here. And so I come down here. So let me see here. I just press here and then I come down here.
Oh, here, you can disable caps lock, or no, you got it.
Let's see. Let's see what it has to say here. All right. Yep. That's correct. Yeah, it's very good. Actually, that's excellent. You see my world, here, my writing help. Let's see that one.
Yeah, you have to choose a lecture.
Yeah, Let's do SAQ. I'll just say essay. Basic structure for SAQ. Nice. Nice. Yeah, it gives a basic structure there. Nice. DBQ, let's see here. Let's see, something there went way. This how to outline a DBQ essay. See what it says here. Got hot dog in there, highlights it. Nice. Oh, wow. So what it did is it does a very long lecture on how to outline a DBQ, and what it did is it condensed, what, an hour-long lecture to one page. Got the essential points of it.
Really? That's great.
Yeah, I mean, it's good. And it gave the examples that were actually given in the actual lecture for that particular DBQ. So this is, I think it's very helpful. I think that, again, I always tell the students, you know, that when you have any class, it gives a lot of information. As I said before, know your class notes first. Know what the teacher professor is saying, because they're the ones who write your tests. And so here you have access to all these videos, which I did during COVID. So now when you ask a question, you're getting what my response is, which could be or should be very similar to if you looked up online, but
Absolutely.
You're getting it the way I'm saying it and the way I would probably write it in a question. So it's more on point.
So I don't know your thoughts. Like, what do you think of this version versus the previous version, which of course we got a refresher on earlier in this session?
Well, this one's much better, and the reason why, it's a little bit user friendly with the tabs at the top. Also, when it constructs the answer, it puts it together a little bit better. The other one was more fragmented. This puts into clear paragraphs. It reasons a bit better. So. And I think the answers here are a bit more thorough
That's great.
than the other one before. Remember before we'd ask a question and have to keep prompting it to get the information we wanted. So what did you do for that to happen?
Yeah, so I, of course, polished what we initially had, which was something great. But of course, after talking to Mr. Salas and how we had to kind of refactor all of our code because of potential security concerns, and also the fact that these had to be downloaded onto the student MacBook. So I had to move completely out of Java, unfortunately. I know you love coffee, but we had to stick kind of out of the coffee language, I know, and get into, of course, for the back end, we're using kind of Node.js, which is, you know, JavaScript, and then React.js, which is also another kind of JavaScript. And so essentially, we completely shifted platforms, and we went to a web app, as Mr. Salas suggested. And initially, because again, this desire for compute, right? And how it costs a lot of money, and how we needed people to get it. I initially, of course, had my own free key that expires, as we saw in our previous, time. We thought that would work. You know, nothing is free, and nothing like this is free, unfortunately. So I had to, of course, adjust to this model until, of course, Lambda reached out and said, "Hey, we're willing to fund you because we know we have this model of GPT, which is able to run on one GPU. It doesn't have to use hundreds of GPUs, which of course take up a lot of energy, a lot of resources, a lot of money, right? The fact that it's able to run on one GPU, that's not even the latest and greatest from NVIDIA. and how you're able to get even a model that they've somehow OpenAI and has been able to get a model that was even better than the GPT 4.0 mini model that we had, and of course the version that we just demoed before. So maybe it's again the fact that it's a better model, but also because we had to completely refactor our code from the Java code to now this JavaScript code. That's because this is a web app, I had to parameterize it even more to make sure that it of course sticks to your words and does not use any of its outside information. Of course, I had to train it off of, again, the stuff that we used to do after class, test it with similar prompting to get it to not write for students.
I got two questions for you. One, why have to pick the individual lecture? Why did you decide to do that?
Okay, that's a really good question. It's really because we want your AI to give the best answers in the subject matter. Because if we let it have a let's call it like an open mode, a mode where it has access to all these lectures. AI itself is really not at that level where it's able to immediately know what the student is talking about. I tried it. Even with our first version, I didn't even have this categorization. But the AI would just get completely lost. Like, for example, if you're asking about a first semester topic, it may bring in content from a second semester topic, regardless of how rigorously I parameterize it to stick to that lecture. But because of how there are like infinitely many variations of students trying to ask questions, students ask questions differently. So I'm doing this because I want your AI to give the best answers to the stuff specifically that you covered in class, and that are these lectures. And what's your second question?
Second question is, I have a lot of writings, right?
Yes.
That this is just the lecture version of them.
Yes.
There's a lot of more in-depth writing. Is this something that would be applicable inputting into the system eventually?
That's a really good question, and that is something that I've always wanted to do even from the start. That's why I mentioned my other project, Build a Teacher, which is something that I also presented at the AIED Summit. That actually has the ability to take in YouTube videos, PDFs, PowerPoints as well, but again, because that just costs more money. That costs money, and no one is willing to, unfortunately, support that. It is possible. I can 100% implement it like I did for my other project, but because that one is known as a SaaS, a software as a service, I'm not, and this is not a software as a service project, unfortunately. Unless it would have to come out of my own pocket for me.
No, I get it. I didn't know what the.
But it's possible, 100% possible, and that's why again actively, as of this week, I've been reaching out to more people to, of course, expand. Again, I mentioned that there would be pilot features. Unfortunately, I was going to show that, but because again, with all the free stuff available, it's not 100%. I don't want to show something that isn't ready yet. And again, that's why I was a little upset when people saw that link, because it didn't get, I think first impressions are really important, because this is a tool that many students have been waiting a long time to get access to. And so if they see that, hey, Gigiano AI is not responding well, they may just lose interest, and it's hard to kind of get them back. That's why this version here, I'm very proud of. And I do want to add more features. I really do. It's just I have to get more. Got to get providers to work with us and understand that this is a school project. This is for education, and I think, of course, I know big tech, they don't like to work with schools, like you said. But I guess having that publicity, like, hey, we're helping, a school, and education. Having tools like this should not be limited to those who have money. Maybe that may appeal to them, but
sure.
Again, it's just really money. Unfortunately, that's the issue that's preventing us from doing this. The technology is there.
All right. Great. Fantastic.
So think about the use case for a student. Where do you think it is in the continuum from a kid missed class, sounds like that kind of hits a summary level, to meeting with you one-on-one? Where do you think it is right now?
Where do I think this is? I think this is very good, I think, for review. I think if you're, for instance, if you have the information or look over the notes, whatever else, and you're going back to study or building out timelines, whatever it might be, you could look up particular terms, ideas that you might be struggling with. Maybe your class notes weren't 100%. And then you can look it up here, ask it the question, and say, okay, I get the idea. Instead of having to find a textbook or find it in your notes, or maybe the notes weren't complete. So it's just another avenue for students to find information, if that makes any sense.
So you think it's more of like a pure TA level, or would you say it's an adult TA level? Is it a?
It's like a peer. It's I'm more of a peer TA level. It's like trying to explain some basic concepts back to the student.
What do you think? Do you think adding your written lectures would get it to an adult peer level conversation?
Yeah, I think that the information here, right, is going to be constrained by just what I was able to say within the lecture, right? And the lectures are really a sort of a subset of the larger group of work, which is the written information that's out there. And so it'd be more detailed, perhaps. But I think it's very useful. Because especially right now, they're trying to fill out their timelines and stuff like that, and have a quick question. They could ask it without having to look this stuff up and try to spend 15, 20 minutes finding it. So.
You guys agree?
Yes.
I mean, are you guys trying it out here? I don't know if it's like, because you have the notes, I can see you have the notes up there right now, and you're looking through my notes, which is a fine way of doing it. So it's just like, different people are going to study in a different way, right? And so you're going to have people rather listen to the lecture, rather hear it. You're going to have people that are going to look at the actual lectures themselves, or like to rather read them. You're going to have people who rather have just a textbook and work off that. And then you're going to have, well, I need more information about, like, exactly what an answer to a particular question is. And so if you ask that question to this, you're going to get a response that would answer that question. So sometimes the textbooks or the lectures don't directly answer a question that you want it to answer. This would do that.
And I want to reiterate again that it is 100% possible to upload these notes. Again, I know that in those lectures, you have the notes document up there, and you do repeat the stuff. So it's not like it doesn't have that info, but there may be, again, like gaps and stuff like that. The technology is there. It's just, unfortunately, we need to get providers to kind of help us out with that in terms of covering the API costs.
Sure. And they know it when I actually do my lessons, that I'll have my notes will be a lot more detailed. But I'm pointing to the sections of it which are the most important. And so they can go back and read if they want more detail. And so what I'm saying is less detail but more on point, if that makes any sense.
Do you still share the resource of your COVID lectures with students?
Yep.
Support? Okay.
Yeah, they have complete access to that information.
So how different is it, or is it exactly the same? So that's where he pulled all this information from?
Well, what's nice about this is that I asked the kind of questions that would like bring in different elements of the lecture together, right? And so it does that nicely. So instead of having to listen to, 40, 50 minutes of lecture to get all the information as we go through it, it pulls up the major concepts quickly without having to do that.
So a teacher / somebody who says, oh, it's a cheat code, how would you respond to that?
Well, I mean, it's no more a cheat code than looking at my lecture notes or looking at my videos or I have all kinds of resources up there. Teacher would give a study guide. I don't give study guides in my course. They build them themselves. So one of the things that they're doing it right here, they're actually building the study guide, because if I just say, here's the information that you need to know, then they just look at that. They're not looking at the full gamut of the course. But if they could learn, like, hey, I go to class every day, I take my class notes, I read the textbook, and then I say, okay, what were the major concepts, which really the teacher should be providing within the lectures or the class information, then they can build a study guide off any class they go to. And so you kind of teach them how to fish instead of giving them the fish. And then this can be an aid to help them construct that as they're going along with it. That's the idea.
So in that analogy, is this putting all the fish in a barrel that's too small?
I don't know. I mean, I think that, I just think it's just another tool in your toolbox. You know what I'm saying? It's like, you have it's all it is to me. It's just, different ways to access information, which is, depending upon what you're doing, no better or no worse than anything else. Right? I mean, it's all, really you want a history of information. I mean, that's what we're really finally getting getting past here is just getting access to information quickly. I mean, I'll give you an example. I mean, back when I was in college years ago, and I was doing my senior research study on British diplomacy in World War I needed the Treaty of London of 1915. This University of Illinois, the fourth largest library in the United States of America, did not have it. And so they had to order it out. It came back 2 weeks later. Now you can go, when the internet was created, then you can just call it up, Treaty of London, 1915 primary source, and it pops up. Well, that's nice. I have to wait 2 weeks to get information. I can get it quicker. And if you get information quicker, then you can get to higher levels of thinking quicker instead of having to wait for it. That's all this is. So.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, I think in one of the many articles that have come out about this Gigiano AI, like again, you mentioned that it's another information revolution, right? It's another way to quickly access information, and of course, because this is a little more personalized, it sounds a lot like you. Students may be a little more motivated or engaged in the content potentially because, again, they have access to you whenever they want.
And then to reiterate, if I'm writing their test and I'm using a certain terminology,
absolutely, yeah.
Right? I'm most likely going to write that terminology on making their exam.
Sure, yeah.
Right? Instead of a very different one. And so it's more apples to
That's a good question, right? Like if
So.
you were, again, I'm not encouraging procrastination, but many students do procrastinate, right? They're up very late at night, can't talk to the teacher, they have the exam the next morning, they have this burning question. This may just be your next best option, right? Because it's trained off of all the talking and, that Mr. Gigiano has done, of course, online for his lectures, which is something, again, I would say the next best option. If you have access to him, I would say ask him the question first. But many times you may not have access to him, although he tries his very best with these public room sessions. But again, just adapting for students' time as well.
Yeah. It's very good. I mean, all the credit to this dude. He was the one with all the initiative, and I wasn't going to stand in his way, right? I was going to promote initiative. So
And I really appreciate that.
So, all right.